Yo, what up, everybody? It's the Real Shadow here. Just reminding everybody about Haarp, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, better known as We're Gonna Bend You Over and Screw You with No Lube. Just about anywhere you go in the world, the weather is just terrible. It's been bad. It's been really bad the past, 10 years. And it's just getting worse. And all they're gonna do is keep continuing to blame global warming and emissions from cars, and they'll try to blame, oh, it's Mother Nature, it's just the way it is. They're going to tell you, oh, the earth is spinning so fast and we're getting cold, or the sun's going around in circles 10 million times, and blah blah blah. Their usual bunch of excuses. Nothing new there. But yeah, I just want to remind everybody about their Haarp project, which is not a project. It's just a weapon that they use to control everybody as usual. Because anywhere you go in the world, the weather is bad. Anywhere. I don't know any place where the weather is like perfect all the time. Anywhere you go, the weather is bad. You just can't get the perfect weather. Not even in Hawaii. And then if they can't get you with the weather, man, they're going to try to get you with the wildfires. It's not them shooting out any lasers or anything like that from a drone, just happens to spark out of nowhere. Now, yeah, I do believe sometimes, the fire could be started, accidentally, but for it to turn into a giant, take down a whole city, a whole country type fire, that's not from a lit cigarette. I mean, let's just be real. There's no way. They'll catch that. They'll cool that thing off real quick. It's not going to turn into a giant wildfire that they always like to call it. So what is Haarp? Haarp is a high-powered radio frequency transmitter facility operating in the high frequency band. Sounds kind of like a 5G, or 4G or 3G. It's a program which, researches the ionosphere, the highest ionized part of the Earth's atmosphere. And of course, they use our own tax money to build these things. So yeah, we pay for our own destruction. That's how it goes here with the elites. So Haarp is just a high frequency, radio wave. So let's take a look at how they use this. So this right here is the way they're actually using it. There's the transmitter, receiver, and satellite, to reflect their waves. Also like this one right here with the little, look like dome earth right there with the receiver, transmitter, the sky wave, and the ionosphere. So they shoot the waves out. The transmitter goes to the receiver, goes up in the sky, and they can move the clouds wherever they want. They can make tornadoes happen. They can make whatever they want happen. Rainfall, anything. For example, this sand and dust storm right here, which affects about 330 million people, of course, for your number 33, coded, and in over 150 countries, UN agency says, of course, 15 for your number 6. Yep, it's always coded. That's how you know it's them. So it says sand and dust storm affects about 330 million people in over 150 countries and are taking an increasing toll on health, economy, and the environment. It says about 2 billion tons of dust are emitted yearly, equivalent to 300 Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. Of course, they'd know that. And of course, it's equivalent to 300. Typical. Now, the more than 80% of the world's dust comes from the desert in North Africa and the Middle East. So yeah, every time your car gets dirty, you can just go ahead and blame the Middle East and North Africa. Doesn't have nothing to do with Haarp. Don't worry. And they say these particles can travel hundreds and even thousands of miles across continents and oceans. Sure, whatever. If you ask me which kind of, towers or whatever they're using, I'm thinking this right here. I don't know, maybe these right here. That's my guess. Or this tower here. I'm sure some of you, or maybe a lot of you, seen this kind of tower before. Or maybe even this tower. I don't know. I mean, it's a funky looking tower. And then you got these 5G towers, which I believe some of those I just showed were 5G towers as well. I mean, they're just all different looking towers. They have more than one function. One for your internet, one for your phone, and one for the weather. And this is what the Haarp facility looks like. Their grid, they have their little antenna set up. I mean, those towers or their grid or whatever does look similar to this right here, or even this. You know, in every picture of this place it's always cloudy over there, always. And I think the stupidest thing I seen was this right here. It says Harp's new owner holds open house to prove facility is not capable of mind control. Why would they show you that they can control your mind or that they can even control the weather? If they showed anybody, if they showed people that, people would freak out. Plain and simple. The whole world would go into panic. Could you imagine how many people would just flip if they found out that Harp is controlling a lot of the weather and yeah, you know, honestly, I don't even think you need Harp to control people's mind. I mean, you got TikTok for that, right? With all their stupid challenges. So yeah, I don't know about the mind control part. Maybe it's TikTok. TikTok is the mind control. But yeah, they're not gonna show you you know, that it's capable of doing anything. Why would they? That would be the stupidest thing they do. I'm sure at some point in the future though, way in the future, they probably will reveal that Harp can do this. But they gotta like spoon feed it to everybody. They're not gonna shove it down your throat. People wouldn't be able to handle the truth. And the other way, I believe they're controlling the weather is right here, drones. You know, that's just another example of how they're doing it. They don't just need Harp, they got drones, they got satellites, they got a whole bunch of other ways to control the weather. Maybe Harp isn't as powerful as they thought it was. Maybe drones are more easier to use, who knows? And they could fly a drone so high up in the air you wouldn't be able to see it. And every time you look up in the air anyways, there's always clouds, and they're not even real clouds. They're fake clouds. You know, they look like this. Like all these clouds here. These are all, if people actually look up, you'll just see this all the time. These are all fake clouds. They're not real. I mean, they're real, but they're just they're made. They're manufactured. This is from, you know, cloud seeding with airplanes and drones and whatever else they land with electromagnetic waves, you know, from Harp, things like that. And then you got clouds that look like this right here. You know, I've seen this plenty of times. I always look up, I always see things up there. It's just like this, always. Sometimes they, if you really look at it, it does look like a electrical wave pattern type clouds. I'm gonna take a picture if I ever see that again. And the stuff that they use for cloud seeding is called AGL, or silver iodide particles. And this is the stuff we see all the time in the sky. That's how it works right there. You got the incoming cloud storms. You know, they watch out for air traffic. They have the drone go ahead and disperse the AGL, the cloud seeding material. And it all mixes with the upper atmosphere. Sounds familiar, huh? The ionosphere, the same thing that Harp uses to control the weather. Now, silver iodide, it's a chemical. And all chemicals are bad. You know, they say it's non-toxic. Generally, it's non-toxic, but there is potential health and environmental concerns. So let's go ahead and take a look at the toxicity. It says, while considered low toxicity to humans, large amounts of silver iodide can cause various symptoms like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, skin and eye irritation, respiratory problems. Sounds like allergies, you know, bronchitis and asthma, you know, stuff that you need the inhaler for. And this is the stuff they're putting on us all the time. Even says that long-term exposure to chemicals like silver iodide, which can enter the air, water, and soil, may pose a health risk. Of course, it's chemicals. They're dropping it over our head. It's always going to pose a health risk. That's why everybody's always sick. And it's on time every time. Spring comes around, people get sick. Winter comes around, people get sick. And lately, ever since a certain virus, people are getting sick in the summer. I put up a video on that and then YouTube deleted it. Thanks a lot, YouTube. Let's look at the states that are using this. So it says the current practices are the Western US and then Texas. I highly doubt that. I'm pretty sure it's the whole entire world. I mean, let's go back to this article real quick right here. with the fake clouds. It says that right here that China deployed 1,100 special. It says China deployed 1,100 special weather modification rockets into the clouds to make a clear sky for opening ceremonies for the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. In Abu Dhabi in 2010, 50 rainstorms were created during the summer months as a part of their rainfall enhancement program. So yeah, they've been doing this for a long time. They're just going to tell you now, oh yeah, we're trying it out, see how it works. No, they've been doing this for a long time. I even found this right here. Cloud seeding was first invented in 1946 by American chemists and meteorologists, of course. So yeah, they've been doing this for a long time. So just remember, ladies and gentlemen, angels do not play this kind of harp. No siree, Bob. Instead, they play this one. All right, guys. Later.